Whoops. Forgot we needed some video here. Hello out there. We're on the air. It's really quiet in here and really bright. Why? Why do I look like a ghost? Okay, happy hump day, folks. Happy hump day. Usually we have our, hold on, just give me 1 sec. I'm writing down all these guesses because I won't be able to see them after this, I don't think. So the cutoff has been done now. In case there's any more comments coming in, the cutoff is now. Got some really good guesses in the chat. I thought we'd do something fun today. I put something, oh shit, that's the wrong thing. I put a comment in the chat this morning saying, everybody make a guess for what they think the price of Bitcoin is going to be on December 31st this year. And we got some good guesses. The lowest is Tom, 105. The highest is Duncan, 188. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So I got those written down. The closest to on December 31st. Okay, we'll squeeze one more in here from Kevin. Why not? So we're going to play normal rules here, not Price is Right. Closest to. You can go over if you want to. Okay, let's get things going here. It's going to be a good show today. It's going to be a little bit quicker. Well, I say quicker, but it's still probably going to be an hour long. But it's an exciting day. I titled this one, I've Never Been More Bullish. That is in honor of our favorite senator in office, Cynthia Lummis. She tweeted that yesterday. So I figured that was a good way to title the show today. We're going to talk about that, obviously, because the price has been running up. According to Letha here, we might have just hit an all-time high. But I don't know. Can we confirm that? Are we in the 90s? If yes, I got to put out my Thunderstruck. Doesn't look like we hit 90 on mine yet, but we'll wait for that. Okay, good morning, Zap stream. I don't know if you've been there. Yep, we do. Look at that. We got Letha has zapped 2,100 sats, and we got Daniel has zapped 1,000 sats. Thank you, Letha. Thank you, Daniel. And I'm actually going to change that. I created a new goal over in Zap stream this morning, but I'm going to change that. But Letha and Daniel, don't worry. You're still going to be guaranteed a hump today. But I'm going to change this because can I do this? No, I can't. Okay, well, we can't set the goal, but today is Bridget's birthday, and she might be watching this. I think she's on her way to Regina today. I think she sometimes watches the show, but just to hear if there's anything crazy happen, I think, in the house with Arnie. So anyways, Bridge, if you're listening to this, happy birthday. Travel safely. If you're watching, throw a comment in the chat. Let everybody know you're here. Put you on the spot. She's never been in the chat before. So today is Bridget's birthday, and all the zaps today are going to be going towards her. Obviously, she gets some Bitcoin on her birthday. So whatever we raise in Zap stream today, it's going to be going towards her as well. So she's going to be happy. I'm not going to tell her how many sats are coming in. Yeah, well, we got Noah zapped 1,000 sats, Wednesday humps. And we got Pasty Janner zapped 1,000 sats for proof of work. So far we got 5,200 sats for Bridget for her birthday. She's probably going to be pissed that I mentioned it on here, but that's okay. So thank you, everybody. Let's run that up. Let's get Bridge some sats. Some birthday sats. Instead of birthday bumps, we'll get her some birthday sats. Okay, we got Letha in here. We got Tom. We got Jason. Good morning. And this was the comment I highlighted. This is the winner of today's 88 sats. Every morning we start the show with our favorite comment in the chat as we're getting fired up. And today's is Duncan's. Good morning / afternoon. I've been listening to Earl Nightingale. I have to keep reminding myself that our rewards in life will and must always be in exact proportion to our service. I think in the last year, that's been my biggest lesson. I mean, with Bitcoin, you can go down a million different rabbit holes. We're going to talk about one today. But I think the one thing I've learned from Bitcoin in the last year is that rule. And it applies in a lot of ways. We talked about it yesterday in terms of time and our relationship to good and bad. It seems like to me, the better something is in life, there's always an equal amount of downside to it. And the example I used yesterday was having a dog. Like the best, where is Arnie here? Yeah, Arnie's right here. Look at that. The best friend, the best thing that could ever happen to a person. Good. Top of the scale, good. They can't talk back to you. They won't lie to you. They're not going to steal your Bitcoin. The best. But at the same time, equal amount of bad because, they poop, they pee, they die away too early. You have to say goodbye to them. So I feel like in the universe, that's like the law. There's always yin and yang. And I think that this is a very old philosophy that's been around for probably hundreds of thousands of years, the yin and yang. And that's kind of what Duncan's talking about here. This is how everything works. Our rewards in life are always in exact proportion to our service. So whatever you put into something, that's what you get out of it. Everything. There's no way to escape that. There's lotteries, there's things that happen, fluke things, but it all evens out. You've heard about all the lottery winners and all the Bitcoin millionaires. Most of the people who held Bitcoin back in 2012 have either had their lives destroyed or sold it. Like everything in life, good and bad, in equal amounts. So we're going to zap Duncan here, 88 sats for that, because that's absolutely true in everything. And you always want to be, the one thing I strive to do, I always try to give more value than I take back, because over time that accumulates. And especially if you're somebody who's like left your job, starting your own business, taking your own path, it's very hard. There's a lot of shitty days. There's a lot of very stressful days. A lot of days, it's not like getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. You don't know when the money's going to come in. And so I've been trying for the last couple of years to just add as much value as possible without any sort of expectation for immediate return. And I feel like that's going to compound. And I'm starting to see it pay off now, years later. But that's part of it, right? So never think you're going to start something and it's just going to be instantaneous. Everything we see online on Instagram and sports, we just see the finished product of everything. We don't see the amount of time they spent in the gym, on the practice greens, on the range. I'm talking about golf here, but same kind of thing. You don't see any of that. You just see them holding a trophy at the end. You don't have any idea. And that ties perfectly into Bitcoin, because that's the proof of work aspect of it. That's what sets Bitcoin apart from everything else in history, is the proof of work aspect of it. All right. We got Duncan zapped 1,000 over here. Duncan, I'm zapping you back as well. Pasty says, fun fact, Doge has outperformed Bitcoin in the last 10 years. We're going to be talking about Doge today. I got a little treat for you guys and girls today. Kind of. Okay, let me, I got to zap Duncan here quickly. Hold on. Give me a sec. I should probably share this on Zapstream or on Nostr while I'm here too. Okay, join us in the live chat for some Bitcoin talk. I don't know why I never do this before I start the show. Seems like such an easy thing to do, but there's always something going on. Okay, where's Duncan? Where's Duncan? There we go. Okay, he shared my tweet. So let's go. 88 sats. Heading your way, Duncan. Bye-bye. Nice knowing you. Okay, what else we got here? Bailey says, new Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. We're going to be talking about Doge. Hold your horses, folks. Hold your horses. Okay, let's catch up on the chat. Do we see Bridget anywhere? No. She's either not listening or she's too shy to say anything. Anyway, she's going to appreciate these sats from everybody, so thank you. We got BTC Backpacker. Good morning, Bitcoin family. I've been away for a while, but I catch every show's recording. I actually started, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I started reposting the live shows. Some of them trimmed a little bit just to cut out some of the bullshit, cut out some of the downtime. But I'm going to start posting the shows every day at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I post it on there as a premiere. So it shows like a live video. It says like I'm live, but I'm not. But then I've actually been spending a bit of time in the chat. So if there's anybody in there at the time, questions, comments, anything, I've been trying to stay somewhat relevant in that chat. So it's a good chance for people who can't make the morning show to have some live action in the afternoon. Bitcoin is the Medusa asset. Once you see it, every other asset turns to stone. I saw that somewhere today. I don't know what Medusa means, but I saw that somewhere. But it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Joe Biden's half-eaten ice cream. Look at that. It's a new face. Okay, we got to top up this balance here. Give me a sec. Oh, my Albi wallet's not locked. Okay, let me see if I can do it this way. See if this works. I'm trying to zap it through an unconventional route here. 1,000. There you go. It worked. 1,000 sats to top up my balance. I think that worked. Okay, who else we got in here? Innovation Bull. Ooh, that's a big guess. 250. I'll include that in here. I'll include it. That is Canadian though. Innovation Bull. 250 CAD. That's okay. So I was thinking about mine too. And I like that all of these are in the hundreds. That's pretty good. The highest being 250 Canadian, the lowest being 105 USD. I think I would say my guess would be 145. That's what I think it's going to be. December 31st, 2024. Mostly because I think we're going to hit 100 here faster than people think. It's already been like we're already at 90 pretty much. And I think we've been saying this for a while, but I think once it hits 100, that's when people are going to start paying attention. Plus, you factor in the holidays there where people are off, people are at home, people are talking around the supper table. The retail is going to show up over Christmas time, I think, barring something crazy happening in the world. But, you know, all things equal as today, I think it's going to be 145. That's my guess. And I think that is very conservative, which probably sounds like a lot to people, but it's really not. We're kind of at the point now where there's so much demand coming in. There's hardly any supply available. And once this thing starts moving, as we've seen, it's going to move fast. Alvio, good morning, my friend. Look at this. We got my financial friend. Hey, man, love the channel. I gave you a shout out in one of my videos yesterday. I think I saw that. I think I commented on it, actually. Hold on. Let me make sure that that was the right one. Yeah, it was. I saw that. Why do I look so white? This is bothering me. Like a fucking ghost. There we go. What do you think, Arn? Look like everybody says Arnie looks like Ghost from what's that show called? Dungeons and Dragons or something? I don't know. Anyways, my financial friend, thanks for the shout out there. I saw that video. Somebody sent it to me, actually. One of my buddies from where I grew up, they sent me a video saying, you popped up on my YouTube today. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. I post a video every day. But it was on this channel. You're my financial friend. So thanks for the shout out, my friend. That's my financial friend. Lots of friends. Dale, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Is it ever? My financial friend has over 300,000 subs on his channel. Wow. That's a lot of work to get 300K, that's for sure. I'll tell you that from experience. But it's good. It's good to see you as a Bitcoiner too, by the sounds of it. T. Jacobson, love your show. Thanks, man. Or woman. But that's it. It's our favorite comment. Hey, everybody loves that one. I feel like there's some things that I say. There's some things that I say that people are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And there's some things I say where people are like, okay, this guy's a dipshit. I'm done. Unsubscribed. I'm going to dislike his videos. I'm going to comment on his videos. But then some things I say, I swear, people are like, okay, I like this guy. I'm sticking around. And then they're here tomorrow and then the next day. And I feel like one of the gender things is one of those things that make either people leave or stick around. And that's fine. That's kind of my purpose of doing it, to be honest with you, because it helps me weed out people, if you know what I mean. Did that a lot with the Trump stuff. Talked a lot about Trump leading up to it. I was saying that Trump was a Bitcoiner 6 months before it was even thought about in the mainstream news, or he announced it. And I think we lost a lot of subscribers and followers from that. But that's okay. We did them out. Let's get to the mempool today. Okay, we are currently at block height 870137. The last block was found by Marpool. I saw a really funny tweet or a post. Let me see if I can find it here quickly. It was on Nostr this morning. Give me a sec. It's probably gone now. Give me one. I won't be able to find it. Shit. Too bad. What did it say? It said, when you're trying to explain Bitcoin to somebody, this is a good analogy. What was it? You're running your car 24/7, idling your car 24/7. That turns it into something you can buy heroin with. It's essentially what it is. Like you're running something, in most cases or all cases, it's a Bitcoin miner. You're using energy just like a car would, idling gas, using energy, and you're trying to guess, or that's what it was. You're idling your car 24/7, trying to solve Sudoku puzzles that can pay for heroin. That's what it said. And it's exactly what Bitcoin is, aside from, I think the tweet was from 2018 or something when everybody was buying drugs with Bitcoin. But that's essentially what it is. You put a bunch of energy into something, it's trying to make a guess, just like the Sudokus, and you can buy things with it. That's what Bitcoin is, in a way. Okay, back to the mempool. The sats per rebyte this morning, 16. It's going up a little bit. Nothing too crazy though. Looks like we're falling behind. 7 blocks behind in our difficulty adjustment. I was thinking about this last night too. We go through the same things every day on the show, and I try to expand wherever possible. And the reason I do that is because I remember watching Bitcoin shows when I was first getting into Bitcoin, and the people had been in there for a while. They were experts in Bitcoin. So they would say things and then they wouldn't really elaborate. And then nothing really sunk in for me because they wouldn't explain anything. So I try to explain as much as I can in terms of like the difficulty, the blocks, what makes up the blocks, the every 10 minutes, the block height. I try to explain as much as I can because if nothing else, people watching the show are going to know what the difficulty adjustment is. Because it's important. This kind of stuff's important. It's fun to watch the price. It's fun to look at your portfolio balance. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a very, very important technology here. And the better you can understand it, the more conviction you're going to have over it. And between protecting it and conviction, that's what's going to have your Bitcoin in 50 years. Okay, let's get to the metrics. But while we do, I want to ask you guys for a favor here. Just a very quick favor. and that is take like 20 seconds here. Help a guy out. We got 85 people in here right now. I think the all-time high was 87, but let's try to get to 100. Take this wherever you're watching this on YouTube, share it, post it to your Twitter, post it to your nostr, post it to whoever. Let's try to get 100 people in here today. I think we can do it. That's my ask of you today. Okay, so the metrics. We are currently, as mentioned, block height 870, 135. Fees are fairly normal, 11 sats at the time of writing this. The price was 87,000 a couple of hours ago. Let's get an updated price on there. Oh my God, 90. Look at that. Another all-time high on the daily Bitcoin journey. Oh, you can't even see it. 90,431, which means I have to put out my 90K tweet. I can't just miss it because we're live. 90K Bitcoin. Somebody said we hit it yesterday. I don't think we did. It didn't show up on mine anyways. And I trust CoinGecko more than anyone out there for my Bitcoin price tracking. All right, Thunderstruck, here we go. Okay, 1 year ago today, you could have purchased a Bitcoin for $36,597 US dollars. And 4 years ago, you can see the guesses over here on the side. 4 years ago, you could have purchased a Bitcoin for $16,317 US dollars. Could you imagine? It was a lot more affordable back then. I think that's 2020 was kind of the last time the average person could get to one full Bitcoin. 16,000. Moscow time today, $1 US dollar will get you 1,118 sats. And if you want to be Moscow rich, you need 1 million sats, and that's going to cost you $8.94, a little bit more now. The price here in Canada, let's get this updated because this one really moves more than the Canadian peso, as somebody called it yesterday. 126,943. Holy shit. The Moose Jaw time, which is the Canadian equivalent to Moscow time, $1 Canadian will get you 801 Satoshis. The deal of a lifetime. DOAL. Trading fake money for real money. And there will come a time in our lifetime where people no longer accept fiat dollars for Bitcoin. And when that happens, look out. If you want to be Moose Jaw rich, you need 1 million sats here in Canada. That's going to cost you $1,249. You know what's funny? This Moose Jaw, we got to watch this price because this is going to go up and up and up. And we're going to get to a point where most Canadians won't even be able to afford 1 million sats. Like we kind of priced out, I mentioned 4 years ago, we priced most people out. We're going to start pricing people out of 1 million sats. That's why I think it's so important that should be your goal. I mean, it's good to have a higher goal than that, but at the same time, get to 1 million sats. Get to 1 million sats. And die trying. Okay, what do we got here in the Zap stream? We got Noah says, Medusa is a Greek goddess with hair made of snakes. If you look at her, you disintegrate into nothing. Oh, Jesus. I think we need that. Daniel says, does anyone know the website that shows you how much your Bitcoin will be worth if you bought it instead of some dumb consumer item? Yes. Go to, let's see if we can find it here live on the show. Bitcoin or crap? No, what's it called? It's Bitcoin or, hold on, what site shows what you could have got with Bitcoin? Oh, that's what it was. Bitcoin or stupid shit. I just saw it. Bitcoinershit.net is right at the top. Bitcoinorshit.net. So let's take a look at this. Let's just do this for like 10 seconds. It's kind of fun. So if you bought Bitcoin instead of frickin' stupid shit, you'd have what? If you bought Bitcoin instead of a frickin' Tony Robbins seminar, you'd have $286,000, 3.15 Bitcoin. Oh, oops. Oh yeah, what's the next one? If you bought Bitcoin instead of a Roku, you'd have 474,005 Bitcoin. It's a great website. Very depressing. But I mean, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to look back 10 years from now, and it's going to be saying the same stuff. It's going to say, if you bought Bitcoin instead of Apple Goggles Pro or whatever those things are called, you'd have $1 billion. It's not going to change, right? Like we're not at the end of this thing right now. We're at the very beginning. So that's what happens when you have unlimited demand with a limited supply. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. It's just going to reprice everything. That's what's going to happen. And that's essentially what this thing is it's repricing items that we use. Okay, what else we got over there? Okay, let's give away some Bitcoin. We hit 90 people in here. I think we can get to 100. Keep up the good work. Let's do it. Let's give away some Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin Well. They sponsor the show. They give the community free Bitcoin every single day. And we applaud them for that. So that's your 2 items for today, your to-do list. 27, okay. Number 1 is share this right now. Whatever you're doing, stop, share it to your Twitter, to your nostr account. And let's try to get 100 people in here for the first time ever. But in the meantime, while we do that, just give yourself 30 seconds here first. Let's give away some Bitcoin. So open up your Lightning wallets, click send, and get ready for the QR code here that's going to be displayed on screen. We ready? Set? Go. Oh my God. What a time to do it. What a time to do it, folks. All-time high in Bitcoin, all-time high in the chat. And some lucky person just won 21,000 sats. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to make you, but if you're brave enough and you're willing to share who won it, if not, it's up to you. Obviously, you don't want to dox yourself. Don't feel like you have to. But 21,000 sats, that's a new record on the show. That's the most we've ever had. We've had a couple 2,100 sats, but 21,000 sats. So that is courtesy of the Bitcoin Well, the best Bitcoin platform in Canada and the US. You can do absolutely everything on this platform. And if you sign up, bitcoinwell.com/Joer, you get 5 free tosses into the wishing well for a chance to win up to 1 million sats. In this case, it was 21,000 sats, the record on the show. We've been doing this for a while, and this is the record. So that's your to-do list for today. bitcoinwell.com/Joer. If you're in Canada, if you're in the US, Bitcoin Well is the best platform to be using, buying, selling, swapping, paying bills, buying gift cards, earning rewards, and setting up a recurring buy. That's one thing we're setting up here at this household is we're going to set up a recurring buy for like $10 a week. We're going to connect our Lightning wallet to it. So the money will come out of our bank, automatically buy Bitcoin and send it to our Lightning wallet. That's something that you can do on Bitcoin Well. It just makes a lot of sense because instead of, the one thing that we ran into, and this is from experience, this happened to us last year or I think it was last year. We were putting $10 every week into Bitcoin, and it was fine. We'd buy it on, I think it was ShakePay we were using, and we would just send it to our Moon wallet every week. So we'd buy it, send it. And when we went to consolidate that Bitcoin, it cost us over $100 in fees because we had so many UTXOs built up. Every week we had 2 UTXOs going into the cold card. And so we paid over $100 in fees, which is like 150,000 sats, I think it was, or more, maybe 200,000 sats, just to move it. So make sure if you're buying Bitcoin, you're doing it the right way, because it could cost you a lot. That was a couple of years later. Imagine in 10 years, if we didn't know about UTXOs, if we didn't figure out a way to manage it properly. So Bitcoin Well is very flexible in terms of buying. Hopefully somebody claimed that. I guess I should have checked before I took it off the screen. But if not, mine. Yeah, somebody got it. Somebody got it. Wow. Wow. That is awesome. That made my day. I'm very happy for whoever won that. Oh, we got 91K too. Holy shitski. I guess we're not going to really do anything on the show today other than just be happy. Okay. Let me just double check that to verify it. 91,000 bucks. Oh my God. Okay, well, we got to send out another Thunderstruck here. Wow. What a show. What a day to have a show today. Okay, there we go. We got Sergio Zap 2100 sats. Thank you, Sergio. And we got My Path to Fire Zap 91 sats. Thank you, my friends. All the sats today, once again, are going to Bridget. Bridget B, it's her birthday today. So we're going to send her all the sats that we collect on Zapstream today. It's going to be added to her hardware device. So cheers. Cheers to whoever won that. That's fucking awesome. I love that. Okay. Thank you, Bitcoin Well. Solid. Solid. I love that. I love that sponsorship. I love that partnership because, you know, I think that the best thing you could do is just reward the community for being there. Reward people for showing up. Reward people for, you know, taking on this responsibility within Bitcoin. It's not easy. And that's what's going to make this bull run that much sweeter, because nothing in Bitcoin is easy from start to finish. Figuring it out, sending, buying, storing it, learning how to do it. Nothing's easy. And that's just like the technical side of things. That's not talking about the societal aspect of it. Like your friends, your coworkers, everybody thinks you're a fucking Looney Tune. And it's hard. It's really hard to swim against that current. It's much easier to just go with the flow. You know, just work for fiat, stay in that world. Don't do anything too risky, but it's tough. And a lot of people are going to see the rewards for that, which is awesome. It's very much deserved. Okay, let's catch up on some chats here. I'm sorry, YouTube. Oh my God, it looks like we're not going to be catching up on these. Let's get to, okay, what do we got? 34. I only got about 20 more minutes here, 25 more minutes. We'll get to some comments for 5 minutes here. Then we'll get to the part of the show. Miss V Fudd, good morning. It is hunting season, $8.52,000 out in the cabin hunting this morning. Charlie Dunn's in the chat. Good morning. We got Z. Good morning. Rick says, I predict all-time high will be 314,000. Is that this cycle or before December 31st? Based on calculations. Interesting. Bitcoin's market cap has passed silver's market cap once again. The next market cap we have to break is Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF. Kevin says, so sad that most people are not paying attention while Fink and Sailor are buying all the Bitcoin. I know. It's crazy. We got Justin Trudeau over in the chat as well this morning. Look at that. We got Phoenix Falconer, Sergio, Good crew over there today. We're going to talk about this kind of stuff. Just give me a second. Parker, good morning. Jared. Rick says, smash the like, please. Very polite fella, that Rick. Great guy. In the chat every day, always reminding us to hit the like. So let's see how we're doing here. Whoa, come on. We got 85 people and 40 likes, less than half. I think we can do better than that. The show is free. The show is free. Patty says 150 by the end of the year. Charlie says my financial friend is a scammer. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully he's not still in the chat. I thought you were talking about your friend, but you're talking about the channel. Okay, well, that's your beef, Charlie. Not mine. Isaac, good morning. Another all-time high today. Look at that. The chat's going nuts. Mikkel says that 100,000 Bitcoin retail won't start paying attention. Normies won't care until 1 million. Wow, that's a bold claim. I think it's going to be 100. I think that's when most people are going to get off their ass and start looking into this thing at 100. And I think it's going to happen over the holidays this year. I think it's going to be perfect timing. Everything always kind of falls into place. It's almost like this thing was very well thought out. Nathan, good morning. Genuine Joy, love the show. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate that, my friend. We try to, I kind of told the story at the presentation or the whatever I gave last week in Regina. But I said, you know what? Like the reason why I do these live shows is because when I first got into Bitcoin, there was 2 people doing a Bitcoin show, and it was a little bit out of my league. So I kind of like tried to model my show around how they do things, but go further into things, because as an audience member, somebody listening to the show, I wish they would have drilled in on more things. But that was Odell and Marty. They've been doing RHR, Rabbit Hole Recap, for 5 years now, I think. But they did it live. And myself personally, like I appreciate that. I think that there's way too much on YouTube that's like very scripted, very like has to hold your attention, like with graphics and, you know, screaming and open mouth thumbnails. Like it's just not me. And I think that there's a lot of people who appreciate the genuine aspect of the show, between, you know, the interaction and just going off the cuff on most things. So it's definitely not always perfect. There's a lot of days where, you know, we don't know what the hell we're doing. It's just absolute scramble. But for the most part, I think it's a good thing. Okay, that's as much as I could keep up with the comments here. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Let's get to a few things here. So I titled the show, I've never been more bullish. Worked out being pretty good timing in terms of the all-time high, in terms of the people in the chat here today. But before we do that, I wanted to we got too cocky. Got too cocky. Should have known. Okay, I don't know what the last thing I said, but here's what we're going to do. We got about 20 minutes here. I'm going to talk about 2 things. The first one's going to be Doge. The second one's going to be Bitcoin. And they're both going to kind of tie together. But this is, I got a bit of a backstory here to share with you. So yesterday I talked about on the show, I said, I sold all my Doge. I traded all my Doge for Bitcoin. And then, of course, the same day, Trump announces that Elon Musk and Vivek are forming the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Elon puts out a picture of Doge. And I want to talk about this because there's going to be a moral of the story here. It's not regret of me selling it, believe that or not. But I mean, just like I said yesterday, every trade I've done has been horrible. So if you're watching the show for trading advice, you're in the wrong spot. But anyways, I do not regret selling my Doge. I might buy some back later, but probably not. And that's what I want to talk about here. So I saw this tweet from a fella on Twitter yesterday. And this is going to be a two-part story here. But this is from, let me bring it up here. This tweet was from Wealth Theory. And it says, oh my goodness, I just realized something. Elon Musk is going to take down the Federal Reserve. Very possible that he's going to work to make Doge a currency and Bitcoin a reserve asset. He is the most radical visionary we've ever seen. X is a big part of his legacy. He is hardcore and he is right. This has massive implications. And this is after Elon tweeted this picture of Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. All right, so we can't waste any more time here, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go at this pretty hard, pretty fast. So what do I think about this? I believe it or not, that sounds fucking crazy, but I believe it. And if you've been watching the show since inception, the one thing I've said before Trump talked about Bitcoin at all, I said my prediction is that Trump's going to take down the central banks, the Federal Reserve. And I don't know if Doge is going to be the key here, but we're going to talk about that. But it would make sense. So we're going to talk about Doge a little bit. I'm going to give you my Cole's notes on Doge just so everybody's informed on what's going on there. But it makes sense because if you think about what Elon's doing, he's been talking about Doge for a long time. If you've probably seen the interview where he said it was invented as a joke, but it would be very ironic if it replaced, currency. Plus, he owns X. He's always wanted to turn X into the everything app. He's been getting money transmitter licenses in many states. So he's been thinking about this for a very long time. He's got Twitter now. Doge, I'm pretty sure, let me double check this before I say it. I'm just going to say it actually. I'm pretty sure the Dogecoin runs on Lightning. And if you tie everything together here between every app, including X, but every app having a Lightning wallet in it, I'm pretty sure Doge runs on Lightning. I could be wrong on that, but that's besides the point. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Doge. I had my assistant, Claude, give me a breakdown of Doge. And so I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read the highlights here, the important parts anyways. I was absolutely blown away with how this worked last night. I was like, okay, I saw this tweet. I need to learn a little bit more about Doge. And I started asking questions to my assistant, Claude. And so within 5 minutes, I had everything that I needed and wanted to know on Doge. And then they summarized it for me. So I had like a bunch of questions that I was asking, a bunch of stuff everywhere. And then Claude said, do you want me to summarize this for you? I said, yes. And here's what we got. Okay, let's get to the beginning here. So I'm not going to talk about the mining stuff, but this is and I made sure to mention in my prompts that this is not anything to do with financial related. I don't want advice. I'm just doing this for research purposes. And I feel like if I didn't say that, my answers would have been, they might not have done it. Claude might have said no. Okay, so Dogecoin was created in December 2013 by Billy Marcus of IBM and Jackson Palmer of Adobe. It originally started as a cryptocurrency parody. Both creators left the project in 2015. Neither creator maintained significant holdings. Marcus sold his stake for a used Honda Civic. So Dogecoin is actually a fork of Litecoin. which was a Bitcoin fork. It uses the script algorithm versus Bitcoin's SHA-256. The block time is approximately 1 minute compared to Bitcoin's 10 minutes. It also uses proof of work consensus, which is important. And there's no maximum supply cap. By the way, we just hit 104 people in here today. So thank you to everybody who shared the stream here. Plus, I think there's 30 so in Zap stream. Okay, so the block reward. There's no halving in Doge. The block reward, 10,000 Doge every 1 minute. The blocks per day, there's about 1,440. The daily new Doge, approximately 14 million, and annual new Doge is approximately 5.256 billion. The mining, also it uses script ASIC. So that's the main difference between Doge and Bitcoin, is that Doge uses script, the script algorithm, and Bitcoin uses SHA-256 algorithm. And what that means, essentially, from my understanding, is the script is much lighter. It takes up less data. It requires less energy to mine. It gave me all the costs for mining. We don't need to get into that. So currently there's 65% of the supply in less than 100 addresses. So it's pretty centralized right now. The top 11 addresses hold 46% of the supply, but the major holders are Robinhood, estimated 30%, various exchange wallets, mining pools, and some public figures like Elon Musk. So here's kind of the comparison with Bitcoin. So Dogecoin has an infinite supply, which they changed halfway through, I believe. They forked it to an infinite supply. There's a fixed block reward, unlike Bitcoin's halving schedule. It's inflationary. There's no halving. And the decreasing percentage inflation over time. Whereas Bitcoin is 21 million supply cap, halving every 4 years or X amount of blocks. Deflationary, fixed and predetermined supply schedule, and it's used as a digital store of value, digital gold. So Dogecoin has faster transactions, lower fees, it's less decentralized, more centralized, smaller development community, and uses the script algorithm, which is less energy intensive. And Bitcoin has higher security through greater hash power, larger development community, slower but more secure transactions, and it uses the SHA-256 algorithm. So if you think about it, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy that we could be talking about Doge as like the new currency. But is it that crazy? I don't know. The key, I think, to Doge is that there's a lot of them. It's very fast, very easy. Everybody likes it. And it's inflationary, which everybody wants in an economy. But it's not going to work without Bitcoin. That's the key here. That's kind of what I wanted to circle back to in terms of, yes, I sold my Doge. And this was my comment on, let's see if I can find it here. Because I said, I definitely agree with what you're saying here. But a couple things. Trump has wanted to take down the Fed, the central banks, from day one back in 2016. He's always said that. He had a picture of Andrew Jackson in the Oval Office. Andrew Jackson was the last president to take down a central bank. So Trump has always wanted to take down the Federal Reserve. And you know what else could happen is that Doge, like you said, all of these things, I foresee a future where you're going to have an application on your phone. It might be X. Legitimately, it sounds crazy, or it might be something like Nostr, or both. But you're going to have everything within one app, and you're going to be able to swap between Bitcoin, Doge, stable coins, Apple stock, Tesla stock, Microstrategy stock, everything you need, whatever you're trying to pay for, whatever they accept, that's where you're going to be able to swap into instantly. Everything's going to be tokenized. This isn't my opinion. This is from some of the biggest people in the business in Wall Street. Larry Fink has said this many times. Everything's going to be tokenized. So does it really matter what we're using, if it's Doge, if it's Litecoin, if it's the US dollar. That's not so much the point. The point here is that we're going to have a bunch of different currencies. But the thing that's going to be the underlying store of value that's going to reprice everything is going to be Bitcoin. So I sold my Doge yesterday for Bitcoin. Do I regret that? No. The only reason I would see somebody holding Doge right now would be basically to wait for this announcement. I don't even know if it's going to be an announcement. I don't think they're just going to come out and say the US is now using Dogecoin. I just think people are going to start using it. When you take off the restrictions on people, when you take away everything that they've had on them forever and forcing them to use the US dollar, when you take those off, people can use whatever they want. So the only reason I would hold Doge right now, or Dogecoin, would be for this, when this happens, and then you sell it. But at the same time, it's like, if I need Dogecoin, Bitcoin's a much better store of value. What was it? 10,000 Doge every minute. That's how much is coming into supply. So you just compare the two, the supply schedules, the amount in circulation right now. Bitcoin is much more scarce. Bitcoin is going to be the one that reprices everything. I wouldn't be holding anything in Doge right now. Even though the price is going to keep going up, Bitcoin is a much better place to store it. But I do love the fact that this is even a discussion. I do think that Elon's had plans for this the whole time. So we'll have to see what happens. But I wanted to just give a bit of a breakdown on Doge because I think it's important for people to know the differences, and because you have to stay informed on this kind of stuff if you're putting your money into it. All right. Who's this? NPub. Let me see this. Okay, so we're going to end the show here today with, I don't know how many things I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 things. Oh, it's Necro? Zap 420 sats in. Good morning, nostriches and zappers. End the Fed. Tabernacle. Must be a French fella. Thank you. Thank you for the sats. Okay, so again, we've seen the price. I don't even know what it's at now, but we've been hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. There's lots of hysteria, lots of people talking about it, mostly Bitcoiners, unfortunately. Most people haven't really caught on to what's going on here yet. But I'm just going to share some things that have happened in the last week or so in Bitcoin. 11 things here. So some of them are a little bit quicker. Some of them I'll expand on. Let's start with the first one here. I better check them off because I'm going to go out of order here. But the first one is that we had the biggest daily move in history on Monday, November 11th. We had the biggest day in history, in Bitcoin's history, 16 years. Biggest move. I think it was just under $10,000 US. Bitcoin overtook silver by market cap this week. Silver, been around for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. Bitcoin overtook silver in 16 years. Microstrategy announced they're going to be buying $42 billion worth of Bitcoin over the next 3 years, which by our calculations is $38 million per day flowing into Bitcoin. And they bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Their stock has doubled in the last month, Microstrategy. At the same time, nobody understands what's happening here. If you listen to like the traditional finance podcasts and shows, nobody knows what's going on here at all. Like they don't comprehend Bitcoin at all, and they especially don't comprehend what MicroStrategy and what Saylor's doing. So that presents a huge opportunity for us here, the people who are here now. Nobody understands it. That's in the TradFi world. And then you have people like Daniel Priestley. Let's see what Daniel had to say on Bitcoin. See if I can find it here quickly. It was a tweet. And it was, I think, yesterday. Right here. Can I bring it up? Why isn't it opening? Okay. I guess we're not going to see it. What the hell? What the hell, Google Drive? You're letting me down here when we need to be moving. I'll have to bring it up on my phone. Okay, here it is. So this is what Daniel Priestley said. I'm going to get shit for this. Bitcoin isn't scarce. Each coin can be sliced 100 million times. There are 21 million coins. That's 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. That's 262 per person. Each of those would be worth anything you want. It's not linked to anything in the physical world. If it were suddenly deleted from existence, almost nothing would change and no one would notice. Then says, I get it. I have it and made plenty of money off it. Heck, I'll even continue to hodl, but I'm not going to tell fibs about it being a scarce resource. It's a man-made fiction like fiat. Go crazy at me. I mean, I don't have enough time here to explain to Daniel, but he could not be further from reality there. So as Satoshi says, if you don't understand it, I don't have time to explain it to you. So unfortunately, Daniel has Bitcoin. He doesn't get it, but that's the point, is that nobody understands what's happening here in Bitcoin yet. Nobody. That's the opportunity. Yesterday, I saw that Genius Group, an AI firm, they're the latest public company to add Bitcoin as their treasury reserve asset. Genius Group. Haven't looked at their stock, haven't looked at anything to do with them, but they are buying Bitcoin and adding it to their treasury. BlackRock had 700 million in inflows yesterday. 700 million flowed into IBIT yesterday, one day. I saw that one Bitcoin is now worth more than 1 kilogram of gold. So it overtook silver. I mean, here's the thing for me. You can say whatever you want about the price predictions, the countries adopting, the public companies adopting it. Bitcoin is a much better asset than gold. It's going to be used for many other things, from voting to microtransactions to online payments to private payments to cross-border payments. But comparing it to only gold, it's actually going to catch up to real estate eventually too. But comparing it only to gold, it's going to be $1 million per coin once it catches gold's market cap. It is so far superior to gold, and it has so far to catch up yet. So put aside everything else, just compare it to gold. Bitcoin's worth $1 million per coin. Not my opinion. It's a better option than gold, better store of value than gold, and it's way, way undervalued compared to gold. But one Bitcoin now worth more than 1 kilogram of gold. We also hit a 3.5-year high for Bitcoin's dominance, which means that most people are getting into Bitcoin versus the alts. And this isn't very meaningful, to be honest with you right now, because it's 3.5 years. If this was 4 years, it'd be a different story. So there's a lot of people out there who are still waiting for their alt season to come, and it could. I don't think it will, not to the same extent that it's been anyways. I think Microstrategy is going to be the new version of the altcoin, but either way, Bitcoin hit a 3.5-year high in Bitcoin dominance. According to polymarket, there's an 88% chance of Scott Bessent as the Treasury Secretary under Trump. And Scott Bessent is a Bitcoiner. Imagine having a Bitcoiner running the US Treasury. According to Polymarket, the odds of that happening are 88% right now. And Polymarket has been pretty accurate in its predictions, including the election. Polymarket also has a 53% chance that Bitcoin hits 100K this year. 53%, I think that's way underestimated, but still 53% chance it hits 100K. Might hit 100K today. And then the last one that I wanted to share with you today, this is the biggest one. I wanted to save this one for last. Let's bring this one up on the screen. This is from Eric Balchunas. He's been tracking the ETFs for a very long time. Look at this. Juggernaut. IBIT, which is BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, has hit the 40 billion asset mark a mere 2 weeks after hitting 30 billion in a record 211 days, annihilating the previous record of 1,253 days held by IEMG. It's now top 1% of all ETFs by assets, and 10-month-old, it is bigger than all 2,800 ETFs launched in the past 10 years. That is insane. Look at that chart. So this is, look at that, look at this. So you can see here, this was IEMG right here. It's the green one. It took 1,253 days to get to 40 billion. And it took IBIT 211 days. So not only is it the most successful ETF launch in history, it's the most successful by a very, very, very wide margin. And if you think Larry Fink is just in this thing for fun, you're out of your mind. Absolutely out of your mind. This thing has been in the works for probably almost a decade between Fidelity, BlackRock, what they've been setting up. They were trashing Bitcoin for a lot of years because they didn't want people to see it. They wanted to get the Bitcoin themselves. And they somehow, magically, I called it a magic trick the other day, but they somehow have accumulated, how much do they even have? 300,000 Bitcoin before the average person even knows what's going on. The average person could have gotten this Bitcoin. This wasn't a shock. It wasn't a shock to anybody. They announced it. They were going to happen within 6 months. It happened. And that was our chance. That was people's chance to get into Bitcoin. That's where everything changed. January 2024, when BlackRock showed up. And unfortunately, the average person is never going to get to 1 Bitcoin now. And the average person might even have a hard time getting 1 million sats now. So I have never been more bullish than I am today. What a show. What a show. We had all-time high. We hit 105 people watching in here, plus our good friends in the Zap stream. We had up to 49 in there at one point. Spaceman Zap, 69 sats. Good morning. Thank you. My Pat the Fire says, try Proton Docs. Yeah, you're right. And Craig actually told me to do the same. So I got to get onto Proton. I saw that they're having a Black Friday sale, 60% off. So I might get on Proton. Okay, well, I'm very exhausted. I got a meeting here in 8 minutes. I kind of need to catch my breath here a little bit. Let's take 3 minutes. Let's zip through the comments here if there's anything that stands out. TWT, love your show on vids. Have you ever looked into Caspa? I appreciate that. I will not be looking into Caspa. Yeah. Rob says, my favorite is like trying to explain to a fly why honey is better than shit. Okay. What else do we have in here? We got a lot of new faces. Wow, I wish I could get through all these. T. Jacobson says, I'm a hodler watching your show here in Norway. Your comment the other day about our coins being the only ones available to BlackRock was replayed on My Financial Friend yesterday. Yeah, he was in the chat. Everybody's talking about it. Big news. Big news here. Kevin says, Jor, I just found your channel and watched a few vids and dig your philosophy. How did you discover getting into Bitcoin? The hard way. Actually, Doge was the first coin that I owned. I made a lot of money off of Doge. I was buying it when it was like 0.003 cents per Dogecoin. I had like 100,000 of them, and I traded them for Bitcoin. I didn't get enough Bitcoin, that's for sure, though. But no, I was a CPA in my past life. I was an accountant, and I discovered Bitcoin. I was into crypto. I was just kind of in it to make some quick money. Everybody was during the pandemic. But then when I learned what's actually happening in Bitcoin and like the triple entry accounting, that Bitcoin is, I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do in Bitcoin, but I need to be part of this. And so last year, November 17, 2023, we started doing the show. And the rest is history. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I absolutely love doing these shows. All right. What, oh, MicroStrategy must be running. Wow. Okay. That's good. I'm excited to see it today. What else? Stephen. Big shout out to Stephen, one of our good friends from Ireland. The show is authentic and you are authentic. Big one for me. Yeah, that's what we're going for in the show here, between the chat and, you know, just keeping things real. Another one of our Bitcoin journeymen here, Duchess, love Doge. It was the first crypto I ever bought out of curiosity and the fact that it was based on a dog. And to date has outperformed even my earliest Bitcoin buys. Wow, that's pretty cool. Everything will flow into Bitcoin, though. Everything will flow into Bitcoin. Keep that in mind. What would be the beginner wallet to use for Bitcoin? That's a good question, Angel. Depending on what country you're in, Angel, shoot me an email. I'll give you some info on that. It's important because, and this is for anybody who's just getting into Bitcoin. The easiest thing you can do is buy Bitcoin. The hardest thing you can do is protect that Bitcoin. Not only the conviction, the knowledge that you need, but actually having the right security process in place, the right device in place. And it really depends on, you know, your situation, where you are, and other factors. So Angel, shoot me an email. All my information is in the show notes here, my website, my email address, everything, NPub. And I'll point you in the right direction. It's just, I don't have a whole lot of time here, and it's tough to advise things for people I don't know. What do we got here? Timothy, my goodness, would people stop calling Bitcoin BTC Bitcoin? It's not digital gold and it's not a store of value. It's cash, and BSV does everything that Bitcoin does and more. Okay. I don't have time to argue with you there. You're right. Stick with BSV. I think the market has already decided for you that BSV is not worth a whole lot. So you don't need to hear it from me. Just look at the charts. Oh, what do we got here? Genius just lost their CFO. Would wait a bit before buying that one. Interesting. Well, maybe their CFO wasn't on board for the Bitcoin thing. Wow, there's a lot going on here. I wish I could have seen all of these. Sneaky coma. Look at this. I'm in Norway via Texas. 1188 sats. Well, thanks for being here. I got 2 more minutes here. Actually, less than that. Magic Internet Money. Will MicroStrategy outperform BTC over 5-10 years in your opinion? Yes, absolutely will. But keep in mind there that there are many risks there involved. That's the only downside to holding MicroStrategy, is you're trusting Sailor to keep the Bitcoin, and you're trusting that the brokerages that you use actually have your shares. It's not like Bitcoin where you can verify yourself. You can run a node, you can see your balances there. You can't do that with stocks. So that is the difference there. Just be aware of that. Be aware of that. Okay, well, great show today, everybody. Wow. Thank you to everybody who zapped in the Zap stream. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for the zaps. Those are all going to Bridget for her birthday today. So she's going to be happy about that. We got 8,700 sats over in Zap stream for Bridge. And if you feel like sending any to our good friend Arnie, right there, Arnie boy, sleeping. That's where you can send it to. That's his QR code. He's got his own wallet, and you can send any sats. If you learned anything today, if you enjoyed the show, it's free. But the people on Zaps showed some love. And if you want to do the same, you can on YouTube as well. So again, everything you need to know, website, email, if you have any questions, anything, all in the description below. And Letha zapped 1,000 sats. Happy birthday, Bridge. Thank you, Letha. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.